This morning, actress Tori Spelling speaking out as her family deals with serious ongoing illnesses brought on by what she says is extreme mold in her home.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, if you don't mind the smell of mildew.
The Beverly Hills 90210 alum taking to Instagram, asking her 1.7 million followers for lawyer recommendations, sharing, "Our troubles are next level with our mold problem and the house that's been slowly killing us for 3 years." Spelling first posting about the mold infection in her home she rents last week, with these photos of her and her 5 children at urgent care, writing, "They've been on a continual spiral of sickness for months. Sick, get better, to get sick again. Kids will be kids, but when you have your youngest, 10 and 6, so sick they are sleeping all day and say they feel dizzy even standing, I knew something bigger was going on."
Aside from things like skin and nail infections, usually the most common complaints that are associated with mold or fungal infection just are usually respiratory, coughing, asthma exacerbations, bronchitis.
According to the CDC, exposure to mold can lead to stuffy nose, wheezing, and red or itchy eyes and or skin. Severe reactions can include fever and shortness of breath. Spelling sharing that her family has experienced respiratory infections, extreme allergy-like symptoms too, and like my poor Finn, skin rashes as well.
The best thing you can do is kind of, clear up the moisture in the environment, get rid of the mold, and the symptoms hopefully should go away.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
We're following breaking news tonight on King 5 News at 5 o'clock. The CDC has determined the cause of a deadly mold outbreak at Seattle Children's Hospital, a hospital humidifier that had not been turned on for more than a decade. Good evening, I'm Mark Wright.
I'm Joyce Taylor. So it now looks like that could have been the source of Aspergillus infections that killed at least 2 patients at Seattle Children's since 2018 and sickened others. King 5's Chris Ingalls has been following this. You join us with the newest developments on this, Chris.
Well, we've been trying to get our hands on this record for a long time. This is the seven-page report that I got today through a Freedom of Information Act request that I filed a couple of months ago. It's not from the county or state health departments. We've been in a court fight with Seattle Children's for months to get that record through those local health agencies, but we got this afternoon directly from the Centers for Disease Control. And for the first time, it explains where children's deadly mold problem came from. Children's told the public last year that it believed Aspergillus mold was flowing through the ventilation system in some of its operating rooms. This CDC report gets more specific. It says a humidifier that was part of the operating room suite's air handling unit, AHU number 1, had been turned on for a short period before each of the 2 disease clusters. That's a reference to an Aspergillus cluster in 2018 where 3 patients were infected by mold, 1 died, and then again last year when several more patients were infected. Baby Elizabeth Hutt died from her infection earlier this month. The report goes on. This humidifier had reportedly not been used for over a decade previously, and the droplet size produced by the humidifier was too large for complete diffusion within the HVAC system, allowing for condensation. The report says moisture from the humidifier may have been trapped in this material, which could provide suitable habitat for mold growth. Mold that could then grow and circulate through the air handling system in the operating rooms. Now, I've sent an email to Seattle Children's asking why was this old humidifier, which was apparently shut off for years, suddenly turned on? No response from the hospital yet. The report delivered to the hospital in October also makes 6 recommendations that required immediate action. Things like testing for proper air pressure in the ORs and additional testing of the air handling units. Less than an hour ago, Public Health of Seattle-King County told me that it believes Children's has followed all those CDC recommendations, but the health department wouldn't comment further and referred our questions to the CDC.
Wow. So, Chris, what about the earlier cases? This is more recently specific to
2018 and 2019.
Yeah.
Right. But the hospital CEO told us, a couple months ago that this stretches all the way back to 2001, right? They've had Aspergillus cases since 2001 that they've all tied to the air handling system. So the answer to the question is this report doesn't specifically spell out whether they're going back that far. It's more concentrated on 2018, 2019 when there were the largest cluster of these cases.
Wow.
Right.
So we don't know if that humidifier was being used in 2001?
I would love for someone to answer that question, and that is a question that we are asking now.
Okay.
More
Thanks,
documents
Chris.
possibly to come.
Yes.
Thank you.
With recent concerns about mold inside the Roderick Island Courthouse in Springfield, state and local officials toured the building to see what's going on firsthand and figure out how to move forward.
This as courthouse employees gathered outside, demanding the courthouse be closed down once again over health concerns.
Got kind of heated because the Springfield delegation, Mass House delegation, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
State Rep Bud Williams in the courthouse for nearly 2 hours Wednesday afternoon, attending a meeting to try and hash out what to do about the seemingly chronic courthouse mold problems that have recently come to a head. Problems Williams says have been around for years.
I'm hopefully optimistic that we will make headway towards the long-range plan as a new courthouse. But the short range is to get this building up to speed and as safe as possible so that folks who work here and do business here, seek justice here, are confident that they're in a safe building.
Earlier, those who do work inside the Roderick Island Courthouse gathered on the steps of the building, calling for it to close a second time. The Hampden County Bar Association also asking for more testing to be conducted. And Hampden DA Anthony Gallooni, who moved his staff out of the building 2 weeks ago, stands by that decision, saying the courthouse community deserves a new space to safely conduct business.
I'm hopeful that there are steps towards both today and going forward, and the trial court deals with this with the urgency and immediacy that is required.
Western Mass News also learning that Hampden County Sheriff Nick Kochi says he'll be bringing inmates back into the courthouse once again starting this Monday. But for those worried about their health and wanting a permanent solution, it's a waiting game, as Williams says testing is in progress and the next report won't be completed until October.
We'll wait and see what the air quality tests simply say, and then we will take it from there. But I do know that there's a lack of confidence by the individuals who have to do business here or work here.
While the DA's staff continues to work off-site, Anthony Gallooni is only allowing them to enter the courthouse for courtroom proceedings.
KENS 5 Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
People living on Precious Drive moved to the west side to find the American dream, but instead they say it turned out to be a recurring nightmare.
They have dealt with a slew of problems over the years, everything from poor foundation to construction issues. And tonight it's black mold. Stacia Wilson is in the newsroom with an update to a story we've been covering for the last 7 years. And I see Stacia actually out there on the northeast side. Stacia?
Good evening, Jeff and Deborah. Today we spoke with a woman who rents from the San Antonio Housing Authority and lives here on Precious Drive. She's upset because she says there's black mold inside her home. However, today, Saha told me it's offered to relocate her numerous times, but that she refuses to move.
People have moved and been settled. I'm still here, and it's in the walls all over again.
Sarah Olivares claims the black mold inside her home is making her sick.
I have mold in the bathroom areas. I have water in my closet. I have mold growing there. And this has been going on since last year.
Saha says they've offered numerous times to help Olivares move into a different home, but that she refuses to leave. Now LULAC has gotten involved and they're demanding more answers.
And my concern is certainly the health issues which were never addressed by San Antonio Housing Authority.
In 2001, these homes were built with $18 million of federal funding. Once residents moved into this Section 8 housing, they started documenting problem after problem. Construction issues like improper anchoring of the frame to the foundation, faulty installation of windows and doors, and roofing problems that led to water intrusion. Then in May of 2011, the San Antonio Housing Authority and dozens of homeowners reached a $20 million settlement with the subcontractor of these homes on Precious Drive, Marisol Homes. The $20 million was designated to repair the homes and pay for damages. But Saha says some residents have refused to leave so that those repairs could be completed.
And here I'm living under the same conditions that I was back in 2007. I'm still living the nightmare.
Now again, Saha wants to help Olivares, but in order to do that, she needs to move. Today, the Housing Authority told me that they are considering deeming these homes unlivable. We'll let you know what happens. We're live on the west side tonight. Stacia Wilson, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Bat droppings, black mold, and harmful pathogens are just some of the things a new report says were found within the walls of the Flagler County Sheriff's Office Operations Center. To date, close to 40 Sheriff's Office employees have filed claims that the contaminated building made them sick. Channel 9's Mike Springer went through the 49-page report to find out what else it reveals.
These photos Channel 9 obtained from Flagler County catalog just a handful of problems the consultant found within the Sheriff's Operations Center that is potentially making people ill. The 49-page report released yesterday shows testing revealed a multitude of problems with a former hospital that had been converted into the sheriff's offices. The report states it found bat droppings in the southeast part of the building. Testing also found, quote, visible mold growth under the carpet in several offices and in the drywall of the investigations room. Black mold was also found in 2 of the 16 locations that were tested. The sheriff's office stopped operating out of the building in June. Since then, more than 30 employees have filed workmen's compensation claims, arguing that the building and their exposure to it has made them sick. Ailments range from skin rashes to breathing issues. The sheriff's office says the county will decide what to do next. Mike Springer, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
The interim county administrator plans to present the report and its findings to the commissioners. They will then decide on a course of action.